and welcome back to Weeby Kids Yoga. If this is your first time with us, please make sure that you listen to our introduction to yoga with Weeby Kids so that you know what to expect. And otherwise, ensure that you are wearing clothes you feel comfortable to move about in, that you have a space to practice in, and as always, most important of all is be kind to yourself. Don't do any moves that do not feel comfortable to you today. Today's session is based on the story How the Hedgehog Got Its Spikes. And it's a story about a hedgehog who needed to find out about who he really was. We start today's session as we always do with a greeting, Namaste. It's a greeting from my heart to your hearts all around the world, and from your hearts all the way around the world back to mine. Hands in prayer position or Anjali Mudra by the heart, sitting up nice and straight and tall. After 3, 1, 2, 3, Namaste. So our story today is about a hedgehog and a family of hedgehogs who lived in a pine forest far away in the wooded landscape. And they all lived together, all snuggled together under a pile of logs. So the first thing we're going to do today is snuggle ourselves down into a little ball. Sitting in a kneeling position, heels to your bottom, leaning forwards, bringing your head down towards the mat. If your head doesn't reach the mat, you can always place them on the fists or your hands. And just take a moment to notice how you're feeling today. Now, generally, bringing yourselves back up, this hedgehog family was a very, very happy family of hedgehogs, all except for one. Lying ourselves down on our mat on our backs. Reaching your legs down straight and your arms straight above your head. Take one leg out to the side and take the same side arm out to the side. Lift your other foot over on top of the foot you've moved and your hand across, which moves you round in a gentle side stretch and smiles your body up one side of your mat. This is to represent all the happy members of the hedgehog family. Coming back out, move your arm back and the leg. And this time we're going to do the other side. Stretching out the leg on the other side. Reach out the arm on the same side. Lift up your leg and cross over. The same arm, so you stretch down the other side of the body this time. And this makes the big frown that was on the face of the one hedgehog who was not very happy. Taking ourselves back out and bringing ourselves up to a seated position. Now, our hedgehog wasn't very happy because he felt that he didn't fit in. He didn't look like all of the others. You see, they all had little pointy ears. Take your fingers and you're going to rub down your ears to wake up those ears. And they had black, shiny, wet noses. Now you're going to rub either side of your nose. And they had dark, beady eyes. You're going to rub all the way around the eye socket and across the cheeks. They all had cuddly little bellies. You're rubbing on your belly. And they had short little legs, rubbing down your legs. And then they had lovely little feet, rubbing the base of your feet firmly with your fingers and your thumbs, waking up the whole of the body. But despite being similar in many ways, this one little hedgehog, he had no spikes. He was bald, and sometimes the others would make fun of him. So, deciding that he needed to find a coat of his own, our little hedgehog friend decided to venture out into the woods. Bring ourselves up into a nice standing position, feet together, head reaching tall, shoulders back and down. We're going to become a tree amongst which our hedgehog friend is crawling. First of all, lift your arms up, out to the sides to be the branches on our tree. Put your weight through one leg and cross the foot over. Taking the foot round and now on the other side. Our little friend ventured out into the woods and then he ventured far, far deeper into the forest. If you're feeling brave, put your weight through one side again. This time lift and place your foot on the side of your calf muscle with your knee pointing out to the side. Bring round, place the foot down and now try again on the other side. Weighting through the other foot, lifting one knee up, placing the foot on the calf muscle on the other side, knee out to the side, and bringing the foot back down. And as he walked through the forest, our hedgehog had many a thought. Coming down onto all fours, we're going to place our bottom up in the air and push down, keeping our arms straight and aim to stretch the legs. We're going to walk our feet at the back, up and down, just as our hedgehog did on his long journey. Whilst he was journeying, he was wondering what he was going to do for a new coat, coming high on the toes, lowering the heels and coming forward onto all fours. And at that moment, he spotted on the floor a lot of feathers. Perfect, he thought, and he began to gather the feathers. Back onto all fours, hands underneath your shoulders. This time you're going to arch your spine up and gather those feathers underneath with one hand and gather them underneath with the other. Then you're going to drop the spine gently, push the bottom up and the head up. And you're going to reach below, grab a feather and stick it on your back. Grab below and stick a feather on your back. And grab below and stick a feather on the back. And again, grab a feather and stick it on the back. And once again, you're going to tip the bottom down and arch the spine and gather those feathers. And gather those feathers. And then you're going to tip the spine so the bottom goes in the air and the head. And you're going to reach below and stick on a feather and reach below and stick on a feather. And this is what the hedgehog did until his whole back was covered in a beautiful coat of feathers. Bringing the spine to neutral. Bringing the bottom down to the heels and sitting back up. This is wonderful, said the hedgehog. But after a while, the feeling of wonder grew old, and he just didn't feel like himself. Coming onto high knees, and Hedgehog shook off the feathers. Shake the body, shake off those feathers. He thought. Coming down onto all fours, tucking the toes under, pushing the bottom back up in the air. Onwards he walked. And as he walked, he had to think some more. What was he going to do? If feathers weren't right, he thought, I know. Bringing yourself back down onto all fours. Fox has a lovely red coat that keeps him warm in winter, he thought. stretching out one leg behind and stretching out the opposite arm in front. You're going to raise both the arm and the foot. Fox left fur around the outsides of his den when going in and out. Bringing the arm and the foot back down, back to all fours, stretching out the other leg and the other arm. You're going to raise those ones up. I know exactly what I'm going to do, thought Hedgehog. I can go to his den and collect all of that fur from the outside, and I can make myself a coat. Lowering the arm and the leg back down to all fours, tucking the toes under and pushing the bottom back up in the air. Happily, he hurried onwards, walked those legs at the back, till he got to the fox's den, raise high on the toes and then lower the heels, and coming back down onto a nice kneeling position. Hedgehog was able to gather the fur from the outside of Fox's den. And again, he was able to put them on his back. Taking the fur from one side, twisting round and placing it on the back. See if you can pat your kidneys at the back and your shoulders at the top. Taking the fur from the other side and swinging round to do the same. Laying out to the side, swing, touch your shoulder and the rib cage, out to the side, touch the shoulder, swing the back arm round to touch the rib cage. Ah, this is amazing, said Hedgehog, once he'd got his new coat again. But after a while, the feeling wore off again, and he just didn't feel like himself. Oh, what am I going to do, he said, and kneeling high, he shook the new coat off once more. Shake that body as he shake off all that fur. And so Hedgehog had to be on his way. Back round on all fours, tucking the toes under, bottom up to the air. Walking the feet at the back as Hedgehog hurried on. It was slowly getting a little darker now. The day was beginning to disappear. High on the toes, low on the heels, coming back down to all fours. I know what I can do, said Hedgehog. I'll be able to, maybe find a snail shell, and then I can use it as my home as well. From a cross-leg position, lift up the front knee and tuck the under one underneath. Pull the front leg across the top. Taking the arms out to the side. Turn so you have the opposite elbow to arm. Lean the arm down and take the other arm around the back as we twist ourselves into a snail spiral shape. Coming out. This time we're going to cross the legs the other way. Cross your legs over the other way first. Lift the front knee. Pull the other one slightly further underneath and the other one, front one, on top. Lift the arms out to the side. Bring the opposite elbow to your knee. Lean the arm down and cross the other arm behind and twist. Making that beautiful spiral that we see on snail shells. Coming back out. Whilst all of this was going on, Owl was up in the trees observing and watching. At this moment, he decided to swoop down, coming up into a squat position with your binocular owl eyes. Swoop to one side and then to the other and up. Woohoo! what are you looking for? Asked Owl. I'm looking for a snail shell, said Hedgehog. Said the Owl. But why do you look for a snail shell? Well, to be my home, of course, said the Hedgehog. But how will you know there is no one inside? Asked the Owl. I suppose I'll just have to look inside, said the Hedgehog, wondering what the Owl was getting at. Perhaps you should think on that, said Owl. Think on what? Said Hedgehog. Looking inside. Looking inside. And with that, the Owl flapped his wings. Woo-hoo! Swooped from one side and to the other side. And he was gone. Hedgehog was a little bit confused and was wondering if the Owl had been trying to trick him. He decided that as the moon was out, it should probably be time for him to get some rest. Coming down with your bottom to your heels, coming back down to that snuggle position that we had at the beginning, either on your hands on your head or on the floor. And whilst in this position, Hedgehog fell into a deep, deep sleep. Taking this moment now to put yourself in a lying position. If you would like a blanket to keep you warm, collect one now. And then make yourself comfortable, lying down. Take a moment now just to notice your breath as the air moves in and out of your body. Here, in this calm, relaxed space, Hedgehog fell into a deep, deep sleep. And in his slumber, he had a dream. He dreamt that he was with his brothers and sisters playing, looking for food and snuggling together for warmth. And it was in this dream that he also realized that he was courageous, strong, brave, and quite amazing. And when the sun came up, he woke the next morning and stretched and yawned and noticed that he felt really, really happy. And he remembered his dream and decided that maybe he should go back to see his family. And so off he set. On his way, he passed a stream and noticed his reflection. And he jumped, surprised. For there in the water, he saw a hedgehog with spikes. At this moment, Owl flew down to greet the hedgehog. "Oh, good morning," said the Owl. "How are you today?" "Oh," said Hedgehog, "hello again. I suppose I'm a little bit surprised. I just saw my reflection and I seem to have spikes now, but I don't know how." "Hoo-hoo," said the wise Owl. "Well, what has happened?" I don't know," said the Hedgehog. "I just fell asleep. and I had a dream." And as Hedgehog spoke, he realized that in his dream he had known he was strong and beautiful and amazing, and his heart had grown and made him feel happy. Said the owl. "Ooh, you were able to look inside you." Hedgehog realized now what the owl had meant. In his dream, he had been able to look deep, deep inside himself. The wise old owl bade him farewell, and the hedgehog went happily on his way back home to his family. Sometimes when we want to know who we are, we tend to look to those around us and wish that perhaps we were like them and be able to put on their coat. But if we want to really know who we are, we have to dig deep inside ourselves to find out the truth of who we are for ourselves. The truth is always there for us to find. Taking a nice deep breath in and sigh it all back out. Take another deep breath in and sigh it back out. On the next big inhalation, wriggle your body as you begin to awaken and come back to the space of the room you are in. Stretching those arms, pointing those toes, open your eyes and bring yourself up to a seated position. I hope you enjoyed the story about how Hedgehog got his spikes. Know that we all have the strength and love and courage within us to find our own coat and to know who we truly are. Take care. Bye from Weeby Kids.